Sarah from northern Minnesota, and today it's freezing cold out and we're switching to more of our wintry meals. So I have a really good one today. This is baked pork chops and stuffing, and I am making enough for 4 people. So if you need to double this recipe, just simply double what I'm doing if you need more than 4 pork chops. So the very first thing you need to know about this recipe is it's a slow cooking recipe. So you need to at least make sure you have an hour and a half of cooking time available for dinner, just so you know that ahead of time. So the very first thing you need is bone-in center cut pork chops. So I picked these up at Aldi's, and there's 4 of them. And I am going to take the seal off of here. Okay, and then I have my all-clad baking, or not baking, my skillet back here, and I added a little bit of butter, and I'm going to just brown them, which is basically going to sear in the flavor. So I'm going to just stick these in this while we're doing this. So we're not going to cook them all the way through. We're just going to basically brown them. Okay, I'm going to turn that up a little bit. And then we're going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to the top of them. I've got the big salt here, so I'm going to put that in my hand. Okay, so salt and pepper. Okay, and we're making our own stuffing for the top. Okay, so that part's done. So we're going to brown those, and then we're going to use a heavy-duty ceramic 9x13 pan for this. And so I got this one off of Amazon. I'll link it, but it's just a cast ceramic heavy-duty with a little bit thicker because we're adding stuffing to the top of it. So you'll need that pan. Okay, the next part we're going to do is make our stuffing. So you can use any kind of bread. So we're going to need about 3 cups. So for me, I've got some hamburger buns left over. I'm going to use 2 of them. And you can use regular white bread. You can use your homemade bread. Another good bread that it's really good for is the Hawaiian sweet rolls. That makes it really good in this too. So I used to use whatever bread I have left over, and we're going to cut them into 1-inch or like 1/2-inch cubes. So cut the bread like this. We're just going to cube it like this. Okay, and we're going to drop it in to a glass bowl. And then I'm going to break it apart a little bit. Like this. This is just one of my really easy go-to meals. Pretty simple, and it tastes really good. Okay, and that one got a little thick, so I'm going to cut the hamburger bun in half this time first, and then go like this. And the pork chops behind me are sizzling away just to get brown. Okay. This is good for a crowd recipe too. All right, and then you can either add real onion, diced up, or minced onion. It's about a tablespoon of this. Kind of broke. Oh, yeah, making a mess today. Okay, so we added in minced onion. All right, I have to check my recipe. A 4th cup of water. 4th cup of water. And I just need to check where my butter goes. I think I messed up on the butter. Hold on a second. I gotta see where my butter goes. I haven't made this one. Oh yeah, duh. It goes in this too. So a 4th cup of butter, which is a 1/2 stick. of butter melted. So we're going to melt that. Okay, I'm going to melt this quick. Okay, I'm going to check my pork chops because I just want them browned. All right, so we're waiting for the butter to finish up the stuffing. The other things you're going to need for the topping is a cream of mushroom soup and soy sauce. We'll get to that next. Oh, hold on, I got to grab the right spatula. Okay, so then pour the butter into the breadcrumbs. And then if you have sage, sage is a good addition to this too. But you don't have to go out and buy the sage because I don't use a lot of sage. I'm actually going to look to see if I have it. And then just kind of mash this down a little bit because you're making the stuffing part. I'm going to double check my spice cabinet for sage, but I'm not sure I have it. If I do, it's going to be in the very least used area. Pumpkin pie, cloves. I don't think I have sage. Dillweed, parsley, basil. Okay, I don't have sage, but if you have sage, you can add it to that. It would be good too. I'm going to flip these over. Like I said, we just are getting it enough to be browned. Okay, so we're going to set this off to the side, and then we're going to grab another bowl, and we're going to make up the topping. So to make the topping, you need 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Okay. You need a 1/3 cup of water. The garbage is below me. A 1/3 cup of water. And a tablespoon of soy sauce. This is going to be our topping. Tablespoon of soy sauce. And just mix this together. Okay, the pork chops are just about brown. And I put a little bit of butter in the bottom of the pork chops. You can use oil, but I just don't like using a ton of oil. And I feel like it just gets so messy. So I used a little bit of butter. Okay, so mix this up really good. Okay, so we've got our 33 steps done. Okay, I'm gonna empty that. Now, this recipe can also be made ahead and just cover it and put it in the fridge. And then when you pull it out, you're going to need to bake it for 2 hours because it'll be cold instead of an hour and a half. But you can make it the night before for the next night too. I've done that before too. So it's a really universally good recipe. Okay, so my pork chops are brown. All right, I'm going to add the pork chops to the bottom of this. Okay, so basically I added the browned pork chops to the bottom. I'm going to rearrange them just a little bit so that, because you want them as flat as you can get them because of the stuffing. So, you know what I mean? I might have to, it's like playing a puzzle here to get them all lined up right. Okay, so we got that like that. And the bones make them so you can't get them exactly right. Okay, so now what you do is you're going to take a scoop of stuffing on top of each pork chop. So we want to divide this into fours and then press the stuffing down. So it's kind of flattened. Like that. Okay, so now I've got the stuffing pushed down on top of each one of them. Now I'm going to take our topping with my scooper here, and I'm going to put our cream of mushroom soup, soy sauce, and water topping over the top. Basically, I'm creating a gravy for the baked pork chops. Okay, mess here. All right, so now what you can do, because I'm making this for supper, so I don't need to put it in the oven yet. So I'm going to put it in the refrigerator covered. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to bake it for an hour and a half. Spread that out. I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees. Okay, see, that's what it looks like. I'm going to actually come closer, show you that. And I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on the top of this too. So I'm going to bake it at for an hour and a half at 350 degrees, and it should be completely done. Okay, so add a little more salt and pepper to the top before we bake it. And then you can serve this with potatoes, rice, squash. I think we're going to have squash with it tonight. Baked buttercup squash. You've already got your bread and your dressing on top of this, so you could go with a rice or something along to go with that too. Or a dinner salad would be good also. So anyway, baked pork chops and stuffing. I'm going to put them in the oven at about 4 o'clock, be ready at 6, and we're going to have a really super easy supper. And I will show you the finished product when they're done cooking, and I hope you have really enjoyed this recipe.